Welcome to Day 5, or the final episode of the Wounders two-wheel drive off-roading adventure in the stunning landscapes of New Zealand's South Island. We've got 4 terrible two-wheel drive cars, an even worse support vehicle, and none of them cost more than $1,500. With a ton of terrain to cross before we arrive at our next destination, sit back, relax, and watch the final day of the Wounders 2x4 challenge. If you like watching people actually finish things they've started, as well as stunning Kiwi scenery, then this is the video for you. Let's kick into it! With only one day and a few hundred kilometres remaining, the cars were all a bit tired, with one in particular, the Fiat Punto, still nursing a broken engine mount. Last night, many purple goannas were consumed, in celebration of almost finishing this week-long vehicle adventure.
200 litre bin, and we're about 3/4 full, so yep. These parts have seen that many purple goannas in a long time.
What's going on here, guys?
Oh, just checking the fluid levels and everything. Everything's looking good. After it's overheating to barkings, it's come right somehow.
It's a self-healing car.
It's a self-healing car. The gift that keeps on giving. Or doesn't.
Despite the Fiat engine being held in by ratchet straps, the cars were faring much better than expected, especially considering the abuse applied to each one. It was after a short drive to the Hokitika beach sign that we noticed the Fiat being a right punt.
Seems to be the issue with the Punto here.
I think we've lost the last bolt. Alright. Yeah.
We noticed the cam belt was rubbing on its plastic cover, and even more emergency ratchet straps were required.
How you going? So here we are in Hokitika, absolutely corker of a day. Stayed at the Kiwi holiday park, absolutely stunning place, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Always friendly, always nice. But here we are on the beachfront, you can hear the waves crashing in the background. All the cars are here, a little bit of mechanicking going on in the background. But yeah, so where are we going today?
Yes, so after this we're going to shoot up to up the back, a little place called Milltown. So we're going to pest around through there for a wee bit, sort of see what the roads are like and just have a play around there. Then from there we're going to shoot back through and go up through the old Christchurch Road, which sort of comes out near Kumara. Then from there we go up through over Arthur's Pass, and then we're going to head up to Lake Linden and through there. And then from there we go up to Lake Coleridge, and then sort of have a bit of play around there, and then back to Christchurch. Should be a good day.
While they waited, the others decided to conduct a scientific suspension test close by. For safety, of course.
All of the bolts, where's the piece? All 5 of those bolts, 6 of those bolts were threaded. Pulled the threads right out of the block. This was getting in the way and potentially rubbing on the cam belt, so I decided I didn't need it. So we have one strop going down under the engine up to here. We have one strop coming this way and that way to stop it forward and backwards momentum. So, should be good. Should be good. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers guys, I'm out. Punto. She'll get me home hopefully, but that's it. No more hoons for me.
It will be revived.
She will, she will.
We're about our CPR.
Oh yeah.
Depression ensues. We had to watch the Fiat Punto leave the lineup for the last time. But wait, there he is again. We reunite while the Fiat refills for its final 300-kilometre journey back home.
Hey, Jan. Hey, Jan. Hey, Jan.
Rather sensibly, Shane has decided to take it easy. Apparently, it's preferable to have the engine inside the car for such a journey. One down, but spirits still high. The convoy begins on the long journey home.
Berry.
Actually, up and through there was a little fucking muddy run.
Saw that. Oh, there's only a small gush.
Half a megawatt.
Our first side mission was a tiny power station, which for some reason suddenly made everyone need to piss. The Ford car tried to find a new route, but was greeted with a dead end, meaning a backtrack to the same road we just left. Can we take a second to appreciate just how good the Ford car is? Not only is it the best looking of the bunch, but its pure off-road pedigree shines through on this mildly challenging terrain. By now, half the day had passed, so it was time for a Lake Linden cheeseboard lunch. We may have skimped on purchasing the cars, but the quality and quantity of sustenance was never lacking.
How you going? Look at that scenery.
Lake Linden cheese stop.
What do we got here? We got a little bit of Havarti.
Some knockoff laughing.
Ooh, knockoff. Ooh, cream. Is that creamy blue down there? Little mini pickles, olives. What the stuff? What are they? Peppers.
Baby bell.
Peppered Havarti. Gimbal Greg, not on the gimbal.
We decided to have a look at the engines once again, for old time's sake. The Jeep engine was still there. However, the smooth power steering had left the chat. It was getting quite unhappy. Lucky it was the last day. We tried our hand at hill climbs next to Lake Linden, but the hills were just too steep and we were forced to turn around. Country roads revert to the rule of the bigger vehicle wins, so we were really happy to move out of the way for this truck. The alternative would have been certain death. By this time, the Ford car was deemed main scouting vehicle. Being small and light, if it got stuck, removal was much easier than the other vehicles. Here's a rare look into how much admin goes into water crossings after 4 days of mistakes.
Hey, it's Gimbal Greg, come on.
Let's follow Sam.
I'm bringing Gimbal Greg.
Yeah, I don't know about this for the perk.
We looked at these rocks and we're like, oh.
Yeah, no thank you. Yeah. What do you reckon, Jesse? Doable?
I reckon we could do it. Like I walked through and it's sort of up there on legs. It's not terrible.
Was that in the wheel tracks?
Yeah, I went in the ruts to make sure it's super deep. It's slippery, but it's firm, like it's a solid bottom foot.
We've learned our lesson, and the desire to make it home now far exceeds the desire to take unnecessary risks. Without the snorkel, our Ford car would have literally drowned right about now. Instead, it lives on and makes great dort sounds for all to hear. Time for one last dort. This was our last chance to gaze at the unbeatable mountain views before we hit the big city. Yeah, that's great, Jesse. Looks very refreshing, and the lake also looks amazing. But we can't hear you, so I'll just let everyone know that this is Lake Coleridge, and we're almost done with the journey. This is our last stop. It's been 5 long, hard days of effort. We had breakdowns of the mechanical and emotional kind. We had good times, bad times, purple times, and we even lost one car along the way. But for now, it's time to park up and reminisce on what has been a thoroughly enjoyable journey through New Zealand's best island.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Yeah, we're back in Christchurch now. We made it, the whole 1300k journey. It's been a good adventure.
We didn't have too many problems on the way, but yeah, it was an epic trip, and we certainly saw some good scenery.
Oh yeah.
We'll give you a bit of a rundown on what happened to all the vehicles. Each of them had their own little quirky things happen to them. So we'll start with the support vehicle, the Jeep. It has had a few whines, a lot of rattles, and a very strange an idle issue after going through some water, which we found out was actually a wet air filter. So it was very close to getting some water in the motor there, and a funny knock in the steering. But other than that, it performed absolutely flawlessly, and it didn't even use that much petrol.
Yeah.
And now we're up to racing bug Herbert, not to be confused with Herbie. He performed extremely well during this trip. However, he did have a drinking problem at the start. We pulled him apart in Blenheim to see what we could find. Excuse me, Neil, why are you zooming on my New Zealand issue standard government issue number plate? It's a normal number plate.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So yes, we pulled him apart in Blenheim. He found to have a couple of vacuum lines leaking, fixed those, and happy days, it hasn't got stuck and forded all the rivers. Very good.
Yeah.
So how did that do, Jesse?
Hey, well, look at this. It's come back. It's all in one piece. It made the trip flawlessly. Yeah, no, it was a good little car.
It did change colour halfway though.
Yeah, and it did change shape, but it's good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, the wee car, it was a trooper actually. It did overheat once or twice, and to the point that it was almost heat seizing.
It was so hot that rainwater was boiling on the head.
Yeah. So we took the thermostat out in the end, and then we found the radiator cap seal wasn't working right, but the fact that it's an iron head motor, it's actually still okay, amazingly. We didn't really have any other issues aside from that overheating. The gearing was a bit shit with the bigger tyres, but it made every track pretty much, and it's done really well. The most surprising cars of the trip was the Peugeot 307. It took a pretty big gulp of water through one of the rivers, and we all thought it was done for.
To the point it took so much water in that the motor would not turn over.
Yeah. So when we eventually got the water out and got it running, Sam cleared the codes with his Autel scan tool, and it's been fine for the rest of the trip. It's got up pretty much everything else has got up, and it hasn't really faltered otherwise. He was a champion.
There's a lot to be said about Les Français Automatiques.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching Wounders Inc. If you want to like and subscribe for more crazy car adventures.
And any sort of suggestions for more car related challenges, please leave them in the comments. We'd love to give more shit a try.
Hey editor, reckon we've got time for one final montage?
Hey,